Your sports talk worldwide, and we got to talk boxing. I told you guys it's going to be a boxing week. Sound like a boxing channel up in here. So y'all know what time it is. You ain't in a rush to get concussed. Now let me tell you about a fight that's going to happen in the junior welterweight division, right? Terence Bud Crawford versus John Molina, right? John Molina Jr., right? Terence Crawford, let me get his record, 29-0 with 20 KOs, right? Versus Molina, who is, what's his record? 29-6 with 23 KOs, which means he's bringing the power. Now, this fight is significant because when someone fights from the pound-for-pound list, right, and Terence Crawford is in the top 5 pound-for-pound, depending on what list you look at, right, that means you have to tune in, especially if you're a casual fan, so you can find out what are they talking about. Why would this be one of the best boxers in pound-for-pound? Check the man out. The man has skills, right? He's done a lot already, right, in the 140-pound division. His last fight, he fought Victor Postol, right, from the Ukraine. Victor Postol looks like a small version of Vitaly Klitschko. Looks just like him, if you ask me. And he was very dangerous. He was recognized as the best fighter in this division with Terence Crawford together, of course, right? Terence Crawford dominates this guy in October, dominates him, fought him the whole fight left-handed. Terence Crawford normally fights from the orthodox stance, right? He fights him left-handed the whole fight, right? And dominates the guy. So he's handled his business. But instead of sitting back waiting after fighting in October, the date became free on December the 10th. I'm not sure why. I think it was the Gennady Golovkin versus Daniel Jacobs fight that just didn't happen, and the date was free. So he said, hey, let's fight. And he's fighting someone dangerous like John Molina, who is coming off his best win, or one of them for sure. He fought the boogeyman, what they call him, Siberian Rocky, or Ruslan Provatnikov. All right, he fought him and beat him, right? And it's not easy to beat Provatnikov. Everybody in the boxing community knows that. So John Molina was able to do that, coming off his biggest win. So this fight is going to be a little bit more action than we're expecting. Now, Terence Crawford, for me, he could have sat back and chilled, actually. But to get back in there, to stay on your game and fight someone this dangerous. Now, Molina, we would think because he has 6 losses, but he's ranked in the top 5 in a couple of those sanctioning bodies. So he's recognized as someone legit. So this is going to be a better fight than people think. But I do see Terence Crawford taking this fight by late stoppage. I do see that happening. But it's going to be a good fight, nevertheless. Now, I want to give some quotes, but not really a quote, but just tell you, paraphrase what Terence Crawford thinks about himself right about now, and he's feeling himself, and he should. He's thinking that he should get Fighter of the Year if he wins this fight. And he's saying, hey, I beat Hank Lundy at the beginning of the year like no one has ever dominated him like that. Good point, right? Then he beats the recognized number 2 guy, dominates him in October. Right? That fight was very significant. It was probably the second most significant fight of this year behind Sergey Kovalev and Andre Ward. It was the same type of scenario. So he handled that business. Got to give him that. And to come back on a third fight against someone who is recognized as being, at minimum, dangerous. He has a point. He should get Fighter of the Year. I'm not sure if I'm sliding somebody. Like I say, I'm not that much of an insider. I might be sliding someone who has done something exemplary. I'm not sure, but he has a damn good point. I would say that, right? Now, enough to that fight. Now, what I want to say, too, is this, right? After this fight, if he wins this fight, you are going to start, mark my words, because I watched the boxing community for a while. You're going to start hearing the name Edward Troyanovsky, right? Edward Troyanovsky. You're going to start hearing that name because the man's 25-0 with 22 knockouts, and he's knocked out 15 people in a row. Now, the people he knocked me out, he knocked out my homeboy, right? He knocked out the dude that owns the liquor store. And one of my boys that works in the bowling alley, he knocked them all out, right? And so what's going to happen is he's Eastern European, comes from Russia. So what's going to happen is they're going to start asking Terence Crawford to fight him because the guy is an IBF title holder, Troyanovsky, right? IBF title holder. That's a serious belt. That's not something, this to unify the division. The IBO belt, I will not start mentioning because I'm going WBA, WBC, IBF, and WBO. I'm not going further than that. It's enough of them. 4 is enough. Don't you think another one coming up, in 3 months old, wanting us to recognize him? No. But he is the IBF champion, right? So, but my point about it is, let's make Troyanovsky, instead of asking Terence Crawford to fight him, right? Let's make Troyanovsky fight someone of note, right? Anyone. He's fought a dude called Cuenca from Argentina, and another guy from Japan. I don't know his name right now. Those are his most significant wins, right? We want to do a good fight would be to raise his profile, especially here in America. His profile would be raised if he would just say, hey, look, let me fight Adrian Broner, right? Let me fight Adrian Broner. Can't get no bigger than that. That fight would be huge. And Broner, you would need to fight him. He has the title. So it's not a joke. He has the title. Or let's say if he fought Victor Postol, right? Russia versus the Ukraine. Everyone knows they have issues right about now, right? That fight probably couldn't be held in Moscow or in Kyiv, but maybe a neutral ground, maybe somewhere in the States. People know who Victor Postol is now because of his fights with Matisse and with Crawford, right? Be a huge fight. And as for a lesser fighter, would be Provodnikov, just because people know who he is, right? Something like that first. While Terence Crawford, after this Molina fight, Terence, what you need to do is go back to Omaha, right? Or you're in Omaha when you fight, right? Go sit on your porch and talk some smack for about 4 months and let these guys fight each other first so they can gain on significance, gain on profile, exposure, those kind of things. Then the fight between a Troyanovsky, a unification fight after he has beaten a Postol or Adrian Broner, then that would be huge. And then no one would come after the fight talking about why were the pay-per-view numbers low? Because it takes 2 to get high pay-per-view numbers. It's not going to happen with one person. Just doesn't do it. That's not how it works. But you're talking about people who are actually paying their money. People who are paying their money. That with Floyd Mayweather, we keep asking why that happened. People were paying their money to hope that he was losing. And these opponents were worthy. They thought they were going to be the one. This scenario you're not going to get. You can't recreate that. You have to build it. So let's not even start trying to ask Terence Crawford to fight Troyanovsky. Let's ask Troyanovsky to fight someone of note, of profile, of someone who we know, and then that fight would be huge. But he is lurking, guys. So back to the point. Terence Crawford, John Molina, this weekend in Omaha. That's where the fight is going to be on Terence Crawford's home territory. It should be good. It should be good while it lasts. Check it out. It's just one of the fights that are popping off on December the 10th. This day is going to be memorable. I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm going to be there watching boxing all weekend. Probably won't watch no other sports this weekend, to be honest with you. That's how it's going to roll. Doma Sports Talk Worldwide, and I'm up out of here.